Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so today I want to discuss DJ Shadow's first landmark release from way back when, and this, of course, is Endtroducing. This record has since been re-released with the deluxe edition with dozens of extra tracks, and whereas I can really appreciate what this record did and how big of an impact it has had, I just don't like it. I never have. And that, I think, has to do with the fact that when I got this, he released the Private Press what felt like, God, like a week later. And I was really excited because I just got into him, and I liked the first one at that point. But then when I heard the Private Press, it was, I don't know, it went to so many new and exciting places. And I found that this just felt, it was rooted too safely in just traditional hip-hop turntablism. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it wasn't nearly as experimental or freeform or as wild sounding at times as the Private Press was. Now, that being said, it isn't to say that I don't think aspects of this record aren't great. I mean, you've got the number song, he samples Metallica's Orion. I love Metallica. If you're going to sample Metallica, I'm probably going to dig it, assuming you don't butcher it. Like, God, when people covered Metallica on that, what was it, the Blacklist or whatever it was for the super edition of the Black Album, where there was like essentially 50 covers of Nothing Else Matters. That was boring. But his use of Orion here is clever, and it's very, I don't know, there's something really almost haunting about it, and I really like that about the number song. I mean, sampling Orion works perfectly too, because Orion does sort of have those massive parts in the middle where it would allow for something to be chopped up and looped, because it's a big, sprawling, bass-focused instrumental off fucking Master of Puppets. And I love that record. That record is perfect. Well, actually, pretty much everything Metallica did right up to the Black Album was perfect. And then the 90s were fucking a complete train wreck for them. I loved Saint Anger. I know nobody else did. But I loved Saint Anger, and I thought Death Magnetic was great. And then that Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Jesus. That just wasn't the best. It was a really good EP if you count the handful of songs that I liked, but I'm not talking about Metallica. I'm talking about DJ Shadow's Endtroducing. But yeah, I love how he sampled Metallica. I thought that was really clever. Other than that, I really liked the transmissions, where he made really good use of the radio broadcast from the John Carpenter movie Prince of Darkness, which is pretty much John Carpenter's most divisive film. Half his fan base loves it, half his fan base hates it. I've loved it since I was a kid. It's always scared the shit out of me. I love that sense of isolation, despite the fact that they're in the middle of a giant city. I loved how Alice Cooper was in it. I loved how he shoved a bike through a guy. And I loved how the movie didn't really make a lot of sense at times. But, I mean, I wasn't really sure at the end. The girl, Jameson Parker's girlfriend, who got knocked into the mirror at the end with Satan, was she coming back to end the world? Or I don't know. I never really understood the transmissions in that movie, but I really liked how DJ Shadow chose to use them on here. I thought it was really clever. They're sort of like the wraparound story for the record. It ends with transmission 3, and I love how he uses the exact samples from the movie as more and more info is revealed. I like that a lot, but I think my favorite track on here is Organ Donor, which makes fantastic use of Giorgio Moroder's Tears, and that, like I said, is pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, the catchiest song on the album, even though technically I would give that nod to Giorgio Moroder and not so much to DJ Shadow. But at the same time, you got to give something to DJ Shadow, for crate diving the way he has in order to come across the tracks that he's chosen to sample and manipulate and twist and turn into his own music. He's a very clever guy, but I just don't love this record. I never have. I've always preferred the Private Press. I found it to be more colorful. It was more upbeat. It had a bigger sense of fun, a greater sense of purpose. It had more direction. This felt more like a really clever guy getting up and off the ground and sort of learning how to fly. Whereas the Private Press, he was a fucking jet fighter, you know? But yeah, so look, I'm going to go. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while I discuss DJ Shadow's first album, Endtroducing, from way back when. If you liked this review, or if you didn't like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody, and I will see you guys soon. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.